Hi Year 6 and welcome to Maths Home Learning for this Thursday. And throughout the last couple of weeks we've been looking at area and perimeter and volume, and today we're going to be finishing off our unit thinking finally about finding the volume of a cuboid. Now lots of you probably already know that actually volume, and we've discussed this a little bit already, volume is the space inside a 3D shape, isn't it? It's how much space is there, or how much a shape can hold. And it's measured in centimetre cubed or metre cubed, but all your answers are cubed. And today we're looking at cuboids, which is a 3D shape that makes up a cube. That's what a cuboid is. And measuring how long or how much volume a cuboid has. And the way to work out the volume of a cuboid is written down below. So if you're watching this lesson, you're going to want to write this down right now. Length times width times height, and that is the key to measuring the volume of a cuboid. And as you can see here, I have my length. Here I have my I have my length. Here I have my width, and here I have my height. So length times width times height. And so to work those out, I need to replace that. So I know that actually my length is 3. I know my width is 3. And I know my height is 3. So I'm going to do 3 times 3 times 3. And to work that out, well, I know that 3 times 3 equals, that's right, 3 times 3 is going to equal 9, isn't it? And then what do I have to do? Well, I have to times my 9 by 3. And 9 times 3 equals 27. And therefore, you're going to put your answer of 27 centimetre cubed. So then, let's have a look at my next question. Well, I need to use my formula. It's written down here again, isn't it? We're doing the length times the width times the height. And that's the formula we're going to be looking at every time. And you can see the length is the length of our shape here. You can see the width is how far across it goes, so the length is how long it is. The width is how far across it goes, and then the height is how tall it is. So here my length is going to be 5, because that's where my shape goes across. It's how long it is. The width is how far across my shape it goes, and that's going to be 3. And then my height is 2. And we know that 5 times 3 is going to equal, that's right, 5 times 3 is 15. So 5 times 3 is 15. And then I'm going to times my 15 by 2, which is the height. And 15 times 2 equals 30. So my answer equals 30 centimetre cubed. So we can see that actually we're starting to learn the formula to work out each of our cuboids. So here we know that actually we need to apply my formula again, and we know that my formula is written above: length times width times height. And if you still haven't written in that books, your maths books, you should definitely be doing that now. Then we're going to have to apply it again. So here you can see that actually the length is 7, the width is 3, and the height is 5. So I've got to do 7 times 3 to begin with, which equals 21. And then I'm going to times 21 by 5. And that might be quite tricky for us to do at home, but we could use short multiplication if we wanted. So I'm going to quickly do that. And we know that 21 times 5 could look like that in our short multiplication grid to work out the answer. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So our answer is 105. And we're going to go put that up here. And here, what's our unit of measurement in? Well, actually, we know that we're not measuring in centimetres here. We're measuring in metres. So my answer is going to be metres cubed, because that's the unit we're measuring in. And then over here, well, we know that actually my length is 4. My width is 2. And my height of the shape is 10. So I'm going to do 4 times 2 times 10. Well, 4 times 2 is 8, and then I need to do 8 times 10, and that's going to equal, you're all right at home if you're saying it, 80 millimetre cubed. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using this formula to work out the volume of different cuboids. And before you go, you're definitely going to need to learn this formula or have it written down so that when you come to the questions, you know to work out the volume of these cuboids. You need to do the length, for example here it could be 7, times the width, which is 3, times the height, which is 5. So you're doing 7 times 3 times 5. Length times width times height. Looking at this question then before you go, I have a cuboid. And this cuboid has the volume of 20 centimetre cubed. And what could that length or width or height be? So we need to try and fill in the blanks. Well, we know that all these three have to times together to make 20. So I could do my length as 2. Or I could do my length as 1. And my width as 2, and therefore 1 times 2 is going to equal 2. So length times width is going to equal 2, isn't it? Because 1 times 2 equals 2. And then what would I have to times by 2 to get to 20? Well, 2 times 10. So therefore my height could be 10. And 1 times 2 times 10 equals 20 centimetre cubed. So here I had to fill in the blanks. So what you need to do now is you need to go away and you need to work out the different volumes of the cuboids. You might even find some shapes like this where you have to find the volume of both cuboids. Well, what you'd have to do is you'd have to work out the volume of each individual cuboid. So here we're going to work out the volume of this cuboid here, and I'm going to highlight it in red to begin with, because actually we can only do that. So we're going to work out that part first. I'm going to do that in red. So I know that my length is 3. My height is 8, and my width is 3. So 3 times 8 times 3. So we know 3 times 8 equals 24. And then you could do 24 times 3 equals, if you don't know at home, you could do short multiplication. So let's do that. Well, 3 fours are going to equal 12. So 2 carry 1. And 3 times 2 is 6, add my 1 is 7, so your answer is 72. So here I've got 72 centimetre cubed. And then I'm going to need to work out the distance of my other shape, and I'll do that one in green. And I'll show you here, if I draw this one, I'm going to have to work out the volume of this cuboid now, aren't I? So if we're looking at that, well, we know that my width is 3. My length is 7. I'm going to do this one in green pen actually. So my width is 3. My length is 7. And my height is 3. So I'm going to do 3 times 7 times 3. And we know that 3 times 7 equals 21. Then I'm going to times 21 by 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So 63. So I know that my answer to this cuboid is 63 centimetre cubed to work out my different questions. And then what do you think I'm going to do with both these? Well, I'm going to do 72. Add 63. Because what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to do both my cuboids together. I'm going to have to add both my cuboids together to understand what the whole volume of the shape is, because I've worked out this cuboid, I've worked out this cuboid, and therefore I can work out the volume of the whole shape. So 2 add 3 is 5, and 7 add 6 is 13. And there we go. So you know that by making cuboids, and they could be a simple cuboid, you can find the area, or the volume of your cuboid today. Some shapes might be made up of more than one cuboid. For example, here we've got one cuboid and two cuboids, and to work out the volume of those shapes, you have to separate them into two separate shapes, work out the volume, and then add them together. Off you go now and have a go at the math sheet, remembering that you need to do to help you length times width times height. Good luck, and I can't wait to see the maths you upload.